The Son and the Holy Spirit, both now and ever, and to ages of ages. Amen. We're still celebrating the presentation of the Holy Theotokos at the temple in Jerusalem when she was a child, and that'll go on for a few more days. We're also celebrating today the life of St. Peter, the Patriarch of Alexandria. He succeeded a previous Patriarch of Alexandria, and it was during a time of persecution. And the result was that he had to keep his flock together. He was eventually forced into exile. He converted a number of people where he was in exile, and was eventually martyred under Maximius, the last persecuting emperor that Constantine ended up defeating in a battle to become the single emperor. And his relics were made to disappear until the era much later of Cyril and Methodius, the converters of the Slavs. And it was during that era that the revelation of where his relics were found. And then, of course, it became a source of miracles down through the ages. We also celebrate today St. Clement, the Patriarch of Rome and all the West. He was the third Bishop of Rome. Linus was the one who succeeded Peter, and he was succeeded by Cletus. But Clement had actually been converted to Christ by Barnabas, one of the holy apostles of the 70, and the uncle of St. Mark, the writer of the third gospel. And he, through Barnabas, became a disciple of Peter and followed Peter in Peter's missionary journeys to Rome, and was eventually became, in the latter part of the first century, the third Bishop of Rome. He was exiled for his faith and for converting people to Rome to Cherson. And when he was in Cherson, he proceeded to round up to 2,000 Christians and proceeded to convert 5,000 more. And he eventually lived and died in the year 101. And his third epistle almost made the New Testament. It was one of the books under the Third Ecumenical Council when the canon of the New Testament was adopted. It was under consideration for inclusion in the New Testament with the Epistle of Barnabas and several other books that ended up not being included finally. And the decision about the books of the New Testament was a decision for which books it was legitimate to read during the Divine Liturgy. That was the criteria for the Church adopting the canon of the New Testament. At any rate, so we celebrate the lives and the work of Peter of Alexandria, the Hiero Martyr, and Clement of the third Patriarch of Rome. Glory to thee, O Christ, our God and our hope. Glory to thee.